श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you for our Saturday morning session. This is practical wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. This is a topic which is connected to Bhagavad Gita. I am not taking the second chapter in our sequence, but I am going to take some. This is also a very important understanding the 5 ways of perceiving reality. Much more technical. Hope you will be able to understand. I'll try to make it as simplified as possible because it is quite uh, it's little technical to understand also, but if you pay little attention, you will definitely understand. So try to be little attentive. We'll see how it goes. So this is 5 ways of perceiving reality. Now, if you see this Vedic culture, in Vedic culture, there are some things which are very nicely explained. If you go to the Vedic texts, the previous ancient books, there are so many achievements. So we'll start with this topic. So what are the achievements? Some of the things I'll try to list because which is very important to understand. Like there is speed of light, which is given in Rig Veda, and there is the pi, the value of pi, that is the number pi is encrypted till 31st decimal. This is one shloka only. That shloka explains only the amount of pi. And then we have very nicely explained Ayurveda. We have nice mathematics also. And then there is yoga, there is music, Sanskrit. Now, all these things, what I am telling is, how did they get these things? And now, if you see that time, we don't have any. Why I am telling why this is very important to understand, because there are no any very complex laboratories. They don't have complex laboratories and no accurate equipment also, right? And not only that, but the results are very impressive. Like, how do they know that this medicine, how it works without any chemical laboratories or chemical applications? How do they know without any instruments? How they know this astronomy also? No, like in the modern cultures, sorry, in the Western world, they could understand only in 18th century about the elliptical movements of all these planets and all. So that means what modern human mind perceives is, now this is a different way of learning. Like what I want to say from this is that people at that time had certain culture. So this is the first important point to understand. Like people in Vedic time, they have had certain culture. Now, what is this is very important. What is this culture? This is certain culture of perception. So this we want to discuss today. There's certain culture of perception in the Vedic times, which is not accessible now. And we are talking about a different perception of the world. The ability to perceive or understand or cognition this of this world. And when it comes to the purpose of yoga, this is one of the way of learning. So yoga is teaching to perceive the world in a different world, differently. Okay. Now we will come to the, so this is basically why they could see the speed of time and all. Because now we are perceiving the world in a particular way, but there is certain another way of perceiving which yoga is teaching. That is simple, right? Now comes, now what the modern human perception is a fragment of reality. Presently, our way, that means modern ways, only we are able to see the fragment of reality, a very thin and rather superficial section of this reality. But reality is much more deeper. And most importantly, all these things prove that fundamentally different ways of interacting with reality. So Vedic way and our way. And that means there are different ways of interacting with reality, uh, or perceiving the reality. Okay. That means why the Vedic culture they could see, why we are seeing is something different. Why it is different, we'll try to understand now, and what it makes different. Now, Vedas say there are five ways of perceiving reality. So, this is five ways. Okay. Now, the first way the is pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is that I see with my eyes, that means with the senses, eyes, ears, nose, and like that, skin and all. I get some information from this. But according to Vedic philosophy, this is the lowest and primitive and most primitive. It is the lowest and most primitive way to know reality. That means I see, perceive by ears or taste or nose or anything. That means this is a way of interacting with the reality. Clear? This is the way of I am interacting and I am trying to understand things in this particular way. Now the second way, which is called paroksha. So till now it will be easy. After that, it becomes little little more. Uh, you have to pay little attention from here onwards. See, paroksha means perception through mind. Through mind. Okay. Now, what happens is when a person he hears some things, or then I have an ability to understand what is happening. So this is like, say, now I heard, you know what happened? In this place, such a big disaster happened, or in this place, such a nice festival happened. So many thousands of people came and no, such a big gathering, this, that. Now, when I'm explaining about it, you did not see. You did not see that, but because I'm explaining, you are able to comprehend it. That means the ability to understand is coming. By hearing, you are able to comprehend certain things. This is actually paroksha. That means I can imagine certain things. The mind can comprehend certain things. It depends. If I depend only on sense experience, then by definition, I am very limited. If I see, then only I believe. So here the first one is in this pratyaksha, it is basically seeing is believing. It is at the level of animals. Animals, na, they cannot comprehend with their mind. They don't have that buddhi. So here comes called buddhi. They cannot comprehend, whereas animals cannot comprehend. They don't have that buddhi. They cannot hear something and you cannot explain. You know, there is such a nice garden and there are so much green grass is there. If you go there, you will get nice food. You cannot explain to a cow. Cow cannot understand. It cannot comprehend. It does not have this level of buddhi, but we have. That means, like now, if I am explaining some things, you are able to perceive it. This is called paroksha. Pratyaksha is directly seeing. You didn't see, but you are understanding. How? Because we have this buddhi that is given. Perception. What is happening, which is, that means our understanding expands so much. The second method is no, we can cognize reality with the help of our mind. Having heard something and naturally this ability to hear and the fact that we use our mind greatly expands our capabilities of cognition. Clear? Like I'm able to understand more things and I am able to comprehend. Now, in this method, I perceive reality through experience or through an understanding of someone else. But there is another interaction with this world which is called aparoksha. This is the third one, which is the most important. Which now, what happens is uh, this aparoksha, I can see something directly. Now I'm able to see something directly. So from here, it is little technical. Please pay attention. Now what this is? It is in a sense naturally we will give other dimension. There are different definitions that is, we can define yoga in different ways. But basically, yoga teaches persons to perceive reality directly. This is one of the definition we can say. Yoga means which helps us to see reality directly. So this is one of the definition we can give for yoga. That means in order to understand the whole system, we need to know some basic concepts. Like the basic concept of yoga is that first one. Please pay attention. The particle of the perspective particle is atom of consciousness. This is most important. Please try to understand. Whatever we are perceiving now, the perception is done by the particle is an atom of consciousness. That means when I am seeing, eyes are seeing. Now, uh, eyes don't perceive. It is perceived by Atma only. When I am smelling, when there is smell, who is experiencing that smell? Atma only. Now, when I am experiencing pain or pleasure in the mind, it is in the mind, right? But who is experiencing? That means there is something which is conscious, which is experiencing all these things. This is the very important. The perception is by the soul only. It is not by the eyes, or it is not by the nose, or it is not by the mind. The perception is by an atom of consciousness. This is very important to understand, and which is called jiva or source of life. That means the idea is that life, although in it revitalizes the body, uses the senses, is initially laid like, but the it carries is something other than matter. That means like this body, mind, and atom. Now, what is happening now? We are getting information from body, we are perceiving through mind, but experience is by Atma. This is experiencing. I will, it will be a little more clear. Please try to pay attention. Like there is mind, and mind is the main tool of knowledge. This is the tool of knowledge. Okay. It is a tool of knowledge, and there is material body with sensory organs, with eyes, nose, and all. So this is body with sensory organs. Okay. Now there are 5 active sensories and 5. This is in the sensory organs. There are 5 action and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. 5 active senses: eyes, nose, ear, tongue, and skin are knowledge acquiring. And then there is action. So action senses are hands, legs, and no, mouth and anus and genital, like that. Now what happens is, now the indirect perception of reality is when the conscious particle, in fact, is endowed with consciousness, want to know what and want to enjoy. Now the soul want to know and enjoy. Now what is doing? Atma is utilizing mind and body to do it. That is where the problem comes. Now perceive reality through this system. There are several levels that interferes with direct perception of reality. Now we will come to the point here. So say Atma. Now it is interacting with reality. Why it want to interact? Because it want to enjoy and know, right? We have discussed. Now if you want to interact with reality, Atma is using 2 tools. What are the tools which Atma is using? It is using mind and body. So at least we all know that we are not the body, we are soul. Atma, it is interacting with reality through the tools of mind and body. Now, whether the information comes from body and mind is correct or not, that is the main question here. Now, uh, now what is happening is my feelings receive some kind of signals, and by definition, my feelings are limited. So, mind has what? Feelings, and feelings are limited. Eyes can only see specifics. No, now the mind is limited because the feelings are limited. What about the body? That means I want to gain information. Whether that is right or wrong, how will I know? Like now, if you say the senses, the nose or tongue or eyes all these things, I have limitations. Can I see everything? No. I have limitation in my seeing. I have limitation in my smelling. Like a dog, na, it can perceive something very special, which we cannot do. That means what? There is limitation. The signals that I get from eyes, nose, there are certain wavelength I cannot hear. No, 20 to 20,000 hertz only we can hear. There is limitation. Nose has limitation. That means our senses perceive something interacting with reality. These are some receptors that crawl out. All this is somehow perceived by our senses, and then accordingly, now what happens is the senses, they give signal to mind. And then what happens? This mind, it will comprehend it, or it is collecting all the signals. And mind is a tool. Mind is also tool. And what does mind do? It starts comprehending it. It's not directly perceiving. So mind directly does not perceive. It gets signals from senses. Now mind here still senses, it is easy to understand. Now we'll see from the mind. What happens in the mind of an, it is very important to understand that it is some kind of tool, and modern researchers, they also say yes, it is. I do not see what is happening in reality. I see what is reflected in the retina of my eye. I don't. This is not our research also. This is modern research. But what is reflected? So what is reflected in the retina of my eye? Now what is the problem here? The problem is that, and then what happens is it turns upside down, and the eye gives a false impression. Eye that perceives this and perceives reality in a distorted way. Mind makes some adjustments. So the adjustments are done in the mind, and it will make it proper. So I see some things, then mind makes adjustment. This is not our research, this is modern research only. And now, not even the mind itself is perceiving agent. Mind made some adjustment, but who is ultimately perceiving Atma, right? Now, first is at the level of senses, information is not complete. Is not complete, right? You all agree with this? Senses, because they have limitation, the information is not complete. Now comes the mind. Now what mind is doing? It is comprehending. But even the comprehension of the mind is also not perfect. We'll come to that part. Then after this is of these two things, and it is perceived by Atma. Now what information it gets will not automatically be incomplete only. So it is perceived by Atma. Now with this two, it is incomplete. Now here anyway, this is very clear. The senses we cannot change much, right? Senses, whatever they have capacity, we may use some extra, some instruments and all to try to understand, some telescope, microscope, this, that, some other agents we can understand, try to get more and more and more information. But ultimately this information goes to the mind only. Now, how does mind comprehend? So based on mind comprehending, Atma perceives it like that. So the main thing comes to the mind only now. So we'll try to see this information, the perceiving agent is the soul, the Atma. Now the problem is, even according to Udara, the problem is in the system, that the system has certain advantages as obvious disadvantage, because not only do our feelings are imperfect, and so now we'll come to this. So you came to first level, we understood senses and mind, and that's how we are perceiving the reality. Clear? Now we'll see what are the problems. Senses problems are clear because they are limited. Now we'll see with the mind. Now mind is supposed to comprehend and give us the reality. Now what is the problem with mind? Is the feelings are imperfect, and that means and do not give us signals correctly. But the uh, now, of course, sorry, here then the feelings can also be connected to the senses because they also have certain limitations. Okay, now we'll see with the mind. Now what happens is mind is not neutral. Feelings are imperfect. Why it is imperfect is mind is not neutral. Mind is not neutral. Although the image that we see, some kind of image, everybody sees that is reflecting. Depending on our feeling, our mind, there are different pictures. Say, for example, different people see the same reality, but some like now some of you are hearing, but not everybody may be hearing the class because the mind is not here. The sound is going in your ear, but you may not be hearing the class also. Why? Mind is not there. That means same thing, same situation, mind differently it will perceive. Like this will try to analyze. The mind consciously distorts this information to a greater or lesser extent. Now, like the psychologists, they say that the information that comes is distorted, some order. Like say, we are filtering through our mind, and the problem is we will come to that point, but I'll just make one more point. Now Vedas say, we'll come to the point of mind, but just before that, Vedas say that there is third way of perceiving reality, and that is through directly soul. This is called aparoksha. That means we can directly understand, comprehend the knowledge directly through the soul, which is not distorted. The information is pakka, not a problem. Yeah, I will take questions in few minutes before I complete this main part. Now you got it. We are getting information through senses, comprehended by the mind, then pursued by Atma. So direct from senses, what is this called? Pratyaksha, right? And this is Paroksha. And now the point is no need of senses and mind. Directly with Atma only we can perceive. You can directly interact with this world directly with Atma. That is called Aparoksha. This is like all these achievements which I have mentioned in the beginning of the class of speed of light, pi, Ayurveda, yoga, music. All this knowledge did not come through senses and mind. It directly got in the third level of perceiving, aparoksha jnana. They could comprehend this because of connecting directly to the reality from the level of soul. All this is bypassing the mechanism. This is bypassing the mechanism of bypassing the mechanism of senses and mind. So directly with the soul, it has an ability to perceive. It is a way of perceiving reality that that was in the previous ages, which is now not accessible, and that is why they could achieve so many things. And to a special form of mind that does not interfere with perceiving reality directly, or at least makes it possible to perceive in a objectively. So this is the objective way of perceiving reality. Hope till now it is clear. I know it is a little tough, but means it is simple only till now. But from here it starts. What is the problem in the mind? Now we talk about the mechanism that allows this to be done. But now what our life is from the point of view of yoga, like the model is highly logical. Even people who are trying to research the problem of artificial intelligence. Yeah, here we'll see this very important, interesting point. People are working with artificial intelligence. Now we say that how can we prove that we are perceiving through Atma? If you want to know, the people who are working on this artificial intelligence. Now, what happened is initially they are very enthusiastic that computers can produce intelligence, but they came to a conclusion that computers is just a mechanical model of our mind. But this buddhi, it's a mechanical model. But this buddhi part, that means the ability to comprehend, that is not there. Intelligence cannot be fully, buddhi cannot be fully produced because something is missing. No buddhi. Why? Because what is not there in the this computers, the artificial intelligence, because there is no self perceiving. No buddhi means no self perceiving. This is not in the computer. That means what is not there? I is not there. That the computer don't have I. It cannot die. He cannot experience something. We can mechanically reproduce. That means we can artificially give them. We can make an eye to a computer. A computer can see, and now he can see. Oh, this person is the person who is supposed to come inside. Yes, he can identify the person. He can also, we can make computers which can analyze the sound. It can analyze taste. It can analyze everything, and then it can give it can store the information. But what it cannot do, it cannot experience, because what is not there? I, that is soul, is not there. That means who is perceiving in us also? Because we can artificially make mind and senses, but we cannot make soul, right? The computer, so artificial intelligence has limitation. Why it is limited? Because it cannot perceive. It cannot experience, because soul is not there. That means who is perceiving reality is the soul only, with the help of the senses and mind. This is very clear. Now there is another way where soul only directly can perceive reality without the help of senses and mind. Or if you have a clean mind, then we can perceive reality to the soul, which is not affected with the mind. This is very important. They thought they can solve all human problems, but it is not possible with the help of this artificial intelligence. But yoga can solve a significant problem. Yoga can help us go in a different level. The problem, and yoga formulates like why we are not able to see is the main problem is mind. Because of mind, we are not able to see the reality. That's what yoga says. And the soul observing what is happening in the screen of mind. So from here, the soul is seeing on the screen of mind. This is mind, and whatever we are seeing on this screen only. And but problem with this mind is it is distorted mind. That means whatever I got knowledge from now till now, whatever I got in the knowledge in this world is all distorted knowledge only. It is not reality. It is not correct knowledge. Now, according to yoga, our life is like a great movie. So now, what is this movie? We do not see reality as such. We see certain uh, chip or cut of reality, which is reflected very primitively. So we are seeing only a certain, what do you say, primitive, reflected very primitively, a cut of reality. We are seeing a cut of reality, which is reflected very primitively. Reflected on what? Reflected on mind. Mind, how it gets from the senses. But mind also distorts, is that will come. Now, the reality is much more deeper and much more amazing, which is reflected on. Now, if you just say what is happening on the screen of mind, it's a and like now mind depends on body. The self-conscious persons begins to identify himself with body and so on. Their circles of identification or waves identify expands. That means if mind expands, our understanding expands. Like first is in the child. If the child is there, for him the mind is very small. So for him the understanding is also very limited. But for us it is much more because our mind expanded. You are understanding? Now what happens is that say if you go to a cinema, this go for a movie. Now what happened in the movie? Like 2 hours, a person sat for 2 hours, say 3 hours, and the 2 hours passed unnoticed. You understand? Like 2 hours, oh, 2 hours. Why? Because I completely identified myself with what is happening on the screen. This is the problem. So now the soul is seeing the movie on the screen. It is seeing the movie and it is seeing a movie. Now, what is happening is we are identifying with this. And now when we go for a movie or we are watching some movie, in front of the TV, other things are off, you have nice things around. What happens is we forget the reality. We get absorbed in that screen and time passes unnoticed because of our identification. But I don't see the screen. This is very important. This one point you understand, you understood everything. We don't see the we don't see the screen. We don't see the screen, but what we see is what is unfold on the screen. So I see. This is very important point. This makes everything clear for you. This one point, if you understood, you have understood everything. We are not seeing the screen. We are seeing what is unfold on the screen, and we get completely absorbed in it. And there is, and there are no events that are happening. on the screen. There are nothing happening on the screen. What is happening is, yeah, what is happening is that some shadows, some reflection of light. But I, the perceiving consciousness, has the ability to perceive this and ability to identify with this. This is the greatest problem. As such, nothing is happening, but because I have an ability to perceive and identify and imagine, so I start. Say now on the screen, some lights are flashing, but we think some dance is happening there. And we can imagine the dance also. As such, nothing is happening, it is just lights. But you can imagine that dance and you can experience it. Oh, this person is nicely dancing, he's chanting, or he's no running, or he's whatever he is doing. As such, you are not seeing any directly some person is running in front of you. No, it is just lights that are coming in front of our screen. It's just different lights only, right? What is the screen? Screen means lights only. But we have that ability to perceive. So ability, what is the perceiving consciousness? If you understood this one point, you understood everything whatever I said. The perceiving ability to perceive and ability to identify. Say for example, if we go for a movie and hero is getting beatings, or hero is getting he is dying, or they are meeting, you experience certain emotions. As such, nothing is happening. But why? Like hero is getting good things, we are very happy. Hero is getting something bad, we are very sad. Why? Because we have an ability to identify with the character. We have an ability to immediately identify what is happening in the movie screen. Wow, such a nice thing. I'm experiencing emotion. Tears are coming. I'm laughing. I'm jolly. What is happening? Nothing is happening there. It is light. But I have an ability to identify. You understand the point? We have an ability to identify even though nothing is happening there. It is just that is a speciality of, and the ability to identify with all, and I can sit and cry and sob or tremble, and there is and can be ignorant and angry, and suddenly the filaments and then I look around and submit, oh, what happened? So if I identify, I can cry, laugh, or whatever. I can tremble if it is horror movie, and all these things, angry also, and all these things happens until when movie ends and we see, oh, then comes the question, what happened now? But the there's interesting thing that the movie, it lasts for only 2 hours, 3 hours in worst cases, the big movies. But what is happening? We have so identified ourselves with these things that are not us. Problem is we identified ourselves with all these things. Very important point here. Which, please try to understand, which are not us, but still we experienced it. You are understanding? We are not, but we experience. This is the greatest problem. This is the worst thing that we have completely made ourselves dependent on all these things, which we are not. We have made ourselves. Now, a person who sits on a screen watches a film that flows before his eyes. Now, it depends on everything that happens there. If it is good, he rejoices. If it is bad, he's upset. That means what is happening? Movie is happening, but he's identifying with the main characters of the movie, right? And the problems lies is this that we are watching this multi-part melodrama, which is called our life. This is also a screen. The screen is our mind, and soul is watching on the screen. And the problem is that this is a no what do you call our web series, web series set by a rather bad director, and we are hostages of this series, and we cannot tear ourselves away from this. So sorry, Atma is watching movie where screen of mind, and this serial, this movie is how long? It is 24 hours. And director is very bad director. And we are hostages. Who is hostage? The soul is Atma is a hostage. It is trapped in the movie which is shown by our mind, and we are caught up with that. Now, how do we get out of this? We can get out of it when the screen is off. When the movie is off, then we can come out of it. Otherwise, we are just stuck with that movie only. So the yoga process, what does yoga do? It makes correct adjustment. What is the, I must make the mind pure and clear so that I can see. Now, first is very important that I am free particle. Atma is free. That is actually liberation. If you can cut from this movie, watching this movie, we are liberated only. Atma is free, and it is completely, and it can directly see reality. It can directly see, but instead of seeing direct reality, what we are doing, we are seeing through the mind. You're understanding? And that is much more, which is, if you see directly reality, it is much more exciting. When we see, and this is what yoga teaches. Thousands of years ago, there are people who have performed this austerities, and they have come to this nice understanding. And they are able to see so many things. Now, to begin, we must correct, like we made adjustment with the mind only first. There is central place of application, the mind, no, it does. Now, okay, we'll take some questions still. No, mind is so okay, I'll end with one point. So what happened with the mind is, uh, we are prisoners. Atma is a prisoner in body and mind. We cannot see something that happens outside body. We are only seeing through body and mind. Like Atma is there, covered by mind and covered by this body. So now Atma can perceive reality only through these two things. It cannot see something beyond. We are not able to see. We are seeing everything through these two filters only. In that way, we are actually in a prison house. Atma is born. Liberation means to come out of these two things. And and we communicate with each other, which communicate with the world with a small window of this prison. So our communication is, you are understanding? Yes. Okay. Any questions till now? Yeah. Now there is question, but seeing reality in chat box, see reality directly is possible in spiritual world only. No, no, no. We can see with the help of our clean mind. That is what yoga is going to tell. Now we are hostages, but which by definition is doomed to death, suffering constantly, full of ignorance and all. But what yoga teaches, na? Yoga teaches is that uh, we can we can perceive the reality through cleaning the mind. So now there is another question in chat box. What is the practical method is? How do we set off practically? Practically is to clean the mind. That is what yoga teaches. Now I didn't come. Why we are not able to see? Why the, even though if we can clean, because the senses are same only. But here the second part, the mind. If we can clean the mind, then we can see the reality directly. That is possible. So that is the point. So how do we clean? This mind is called chitta, and this chitta is what we do chanting Cheto Darpana Marcham. So cleaning the mind. I just formulated the problem. I didn't come to the solution. Solution is very big. That is, we will take two more sessions to come to the solution part. But if we still have time, we can take. So there is a question, where is Atma? Is it part of body? No, we are Atma. We have body. It's not part of body. We are Atma. We have mind. We have body. Like that, we can understand. Yeah, can Atma liberate without harming any part of the body? Yes, yes. We will. It is nothing to do with Atma. We need not damage any body. We will get a spiritual body. We don't need this body actually. It's why do we need to stay in a prison house? We want to get out of prison house. So this body and mind is like a prison house for Atma. It is binding the Atma. We want to get free from it. I will take few more points because I just formulated the problem. Now we'll go a little bit. I have to further explain the problem with the mind. There is another question. Prabhuji, so listening the Bhagavatam with our sense mind, it does both purifies the heart and see the reality. After all, contamination is gone. Yes, yes, that is correct. What happens is now when we hear Bhagavatam, we also hear we are doing with the same senses which are imperfect and same mind which is contaminated and distorted. But what happens? The Bhagavatam has certain ability. That is a spiritual literature. The spiritual sound vibration has that potency, which very much purifies the chitta. That's why we are able to see the real. The distortion of the mind is gone slowly, slowly, and then we are able to see the reality. That's how it happens. Now I will just add few more points. It is what is happening. If we think about what is happening now in this body, and at the same time there is soul, which is in accordance with the philosophy of Vedas, and with the help of yoga, we have realized ourselves as soul by nature, full of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Now we have become the hostages of this body, which by definition is doomed to death. So death is not for the soul, death is for the body only. Few more points I'll take to formulate the problem very clearly. So the Atma is body which is doomed to death. That means body dies. Atma never dies. We are changing bodies and bodies and bodies. And body is doomed to death. It suffers. And not only that, having completely identified ourselves with this defective system, which is distorted system, we deprive ourselves a lot. So we are deprived. And what happens is we completely identify with this picture and that unfolds on the screen of mind through the body and feelings. And this is a kind of preliminary things. And now the yoga method is very simple and of course very harsh also. What yoga is trying to do to see, it starts to now, for example, if I want to, I'm watching a movie and completely absorbed in the movie. How can I come out of it? Just switch off the TV. Then instead of seeing the movie, you only see the screen. You will not get affected by it. Similarly, what yoga teaches na, it tells us to how to switch off from the body and mind, not get affected by the things. That is the main thing they do. Then we don't see this in order for us to see the screen or reality. No matter, not that means no matter how boring it may be, it is necessary at some moment we should turn off the lights. Projector should be turned off, and that is the first step of yoga. Turn off the lights. That means in the theater you are sitting, all the lights are off, you are seeing only the screen. Now what you do? You just switch on all the lights. Then we'll see around, oh, I'm just seeing the screen only and that nothing is happening. I'm just absorbed in it. And that's what yoga does. Yoga, it turns on the lights. That means it makes us come from illusion, get out of illusion. It shows the reality. Arey, you are not the body, you are not the mind. You are very seriously taking all these things. You are trying to identify with this all these things very seriously. Get out of this. Then the picture unfolds. I am sitting in theater. Sometimes the lights are on. People are very upset. Arey, why are you switching the lights on? I am not able to enjoy the movie. People make theaters in their houses so that they can watch movies with complete illusion. Why? Because you cannot enjoy otherwise. In this, you need ignorance to enjoy in this world. Yeah, now we have some questions in chat box. The question is, because if anybody becomes sick of gets heart attack, then only person dies and Atma liberates. Atma goes to another body, it gets another prison house. We got from many lifetimes. Now we are in this prison house. Now we go to another body, another prison house. Like that, we are changing. It is not liberated. There is another. Do you have these sessions in Telugu? Yeah, we have these sessions in night quarter to 8 to quarter to 9 in Telugu. The same link. Another question is, how can we see Atma? Because it never leaves the body unless we seek. We can never see we are Atma only. We are seeing other things through Atma. We are using the instruments. We can realize that we are Atma. Now we are seeing the movie and we are identifying with the movie and we forgot the reality. When the lights are on, then we understand, oh, I am just seeing a movie, but so much absorbed in the movie, like 2 hours of a movie, it continuously goes. We don't even understand, oh, I am seeing a movie. We are just immersed in the emotions. Our hero is getting beating, our hero is enjoying, heroine, this, that. We are experiencing that and we are forgetting reality. And this absorption in the movie is happening 24 by 7 with the help of our mind in this world. We are not understanding that I'm seeing a movie. So we are getting carried away like that. So we have to come to reality. And that is possible with the help of yoga. So that we don't get absorbed in this. That's why Krishna is telling, happiness, distress, pain, pleasure, don't take them seriously. Because that means you are taking the movie seriously. Like that. We have to come out of it. That's the process yoga is. And why do we find different kinds of people? Yeah, because their mind is different. We'll come to that point. Maybe if you continue next session, I'm going to take a little more about mind, what how all it distorts. Uh, heart and atma, they are different. Uh, heart is chitta. Even what we call, people think atma is heart, but it is not. It is chitta that is heart. And how can we set mind calm and focused? We can set our mind calm and focus by chanting. The yoga method is for that only. Our method of yoga is chanting. Is it reality? Atma is just energy. Atma is not just energy. Atma is a source of giving energy. It is a particle which generates energy. But apart from that, it is conscious. It can enjoy. It can gain knowledge. So many other things are there for Atma. Energy is one part. Tulu and Telugu are different. Tulu is in Karnataka and Telugu is in Andhra and Tamil, Telangana. Oh, she want to hear in Tulu. Tulu is I don't know Tulu language. It is Karnataka language. It is Telugu. Telugu is this is Telangana and Andhra. Okay. Few more things should we have time, we'll take. There's another question. How can one prove that Atma changes the body is an experienced reality? Like you are seeing that something is changing in your body. That means you are different. That's why you're able to see the change. When you are 4 years old, do you have the same body? And you are 12 years old, did you have the same body? You have different body. That means you are seeing the change in the body. That means there is something outside. That means something which is change, seeing the change. That means you are different. The body is different. That's why you're able to see the change. Otherwise, you cannot see the change. If you are changing, you cannot see it because you are observing the change. That's why you're able to see. You are a different person. If we are Atma, then why do we don't we remember the previous janmas? This is a good question. Why don't we remember the previous life? Is like you are dreaming in the night. Now, if you are dreaming in the night, do you remember the dream when you wake up? No. So many times we hardly remember. Like so many dreams you had. So many days you are having every day. Say, now if you remember all the dreams, how much it is important for you to remember the dream? That is the question. You every day I'm getting from last 100 days. If I remember all the dreams, 100 days dreams, will it make any difference for me? No, it's a dream only. So similarly for us, the previous life is like a dream only. That's why Lord will arise in the memory. You will only just keep the impressions, but the whole dream is erased. So the system is made in such a way that we don't remember the dreams. It's waste of time, waste of memory. And same thing with the previous life also. We don't remember because it's like a dream only. No need of remembering dreams. Next session will next Saturday. Maybe tomorrow also we can try if you are all interested. Soul does not change, body change. Yes. Please visit Vrindavan Barsana. Yeah, get out of from this how it helps in bhakti. Bhakti, it will we are to do bhakti to come out of it only. Bhakti is meant to come out of this illusion. We have to come to reality. We can't, yes, we can guess our future life. Very simple. Whatever state of consciousness we have now, that is deciding next. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So wonderful session, Prabhuji. You are giving practical knowledge to apply Bhagavad Gita in real life. Prabhuji, one small request. Can we get this recording, Prabhuji? One of my
It is
very good
recorded on
friends.
YouTube, Mataji. It's live on YouTube.
on your channel, Prabhuji.
This is another channel, Radha Pramod Das English. There is a new channel I started, Radha Pramod Das English. In this channel, you will get now.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's very much required. One of my nephews is in little bit troublesome conditions and married life. I want to post this if it helps him, if he listens. I hope he will listen it. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Prabhuji. Radha promote English classes, right, Prabhuji?
Radha Pramod Das English.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I posted, if you are in the group, I'll post the recording, means I'll post the link in the group also, you can join. And there are
Yeah.
other lectures he can listen, which I gave on karma. Maybe that will help more. This is little more technical, but there are little simple lectures which we can understand easily, which I posted in the channel. I recently started. There are 3-4 lectures, but you can start listening them.
Yeah. If you don't feel trouble, please post the link also, Prabhuji. Otherwise, I will try to.
Yes. I'll post the link in the groups.
Thank you so much.
There is a question like, if a person dies, what happens? Where will be that person goes? If person is soul, where the soul goes, can that soul feel us, and why can't we feel that person's soul? These questions now, okay, I'll answer. Now what happens is, like now what happens is, how to know our next life is very simple. Now presently, what state of consciousness, that is what is my next birth. If I'm like behaving like an animal, very easy I can know what will be the next birth. It's just going to another place. I'll be getting a body of an animal. It's not something very big thing to know. Like some people at the end of life, now they almost look like some animal or something, or some creature, and very easy to know that this person is going to become like this. So it is a very simple understanding, simple science. And why can't, what happens to the soul? It goes to another body. So we never see the soul because we are seeing in a gross level. We only see at the level of mind and senses. That's why we are not able to see. Once you switch off, once you get out of this conditioning of body and mind, especially the mind is very distorted. There are two reasons that we are going to discuss in the next session. Maybe tomorrow we'll try, if things go. We'll discuss what are the problems in the mind, why we are not able to. If we clean the mind, then we can see Atma. So our soul's limited edition. I didn't understand this question. Our soul's limited edition. I didn't understand. You can just. Right. Another question, is everything already written by Brahma about life and karma, that he or she, when one comes to this world and what will happen as it is? 80% is written, 20% is still in your hand. You can change with your good association, you can change whatever association we take, we can change the 20%. Means all souls and Janma perceptions. Indu Mataji, I didn't understand this question. And the question is, does Atma goes to new human body or some other creature after that? Yeah, it depends. It goes to new body, other creature, depends on what type of state of mind we have. If you have mind distorted more like an animal, it goes to animal body. If mind is very pure, you remove all the impressions of mind, it can be liberated. So it depends on where you go. Did anybody's experience this? How can we prove that soul comes out? That's what now presently what reality we are seeing with our senses and mind. But if you see the reality, when the mind is pure, then you can see all the things. Our perception is distorted now. The mind, the screen is full of dust. Cheto Darpana Marjana. When we chant, the dust is removed. Then we can see reality. Then we can see Atma. Then we can see where it is going also. It's very much possible. Like Bhishma, he prays to Lord when he is dying. He said, my dear Lord, whoever was killed by you, they all went to the spiritual world. Bhishma can see the souls going to spiritual world. Question is, so all we are trying to change is 20%, only remaining 80% still the same. Yeah, 80% is already this 80% now we only made it in previous life. Now this 20% what we can change is this life, and next life also we can change 80%. In this life we can change 20%, but we can change next life 80% by the actions which we are doing now. So we still have so much to change. That means this 80% what we got fixed now is from the previous life. So now what I am doing is changing this 20% which in this life and 80% of the next life also. Any other questions? Okay. If you are all okay, then we can meet tomorrow. We'll continue this topic. How can we take right decisions which is best in our future? Yeah, you associate with nice people, hear from right persons, then it will change. It will change our future. The 20% what we can change is because of association. Okay. Thank you all very much. You are interested tomorrow, please let us know. I'll post in the group. We'll meet. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.